Hello, it is Emily, and today I want to get straight into a leg day. More specifically, this is a hamstrings and a glutes workout. So we're starting off with the Smith machine. Honestly, I just like to start off with the Smith machine to make sure that I get these exercises in, because the Smith machines are definitely busier at my gym. So I'm like, oh, if I do these exercises first, then I don't have to worry about getting a Smith machine later into my workout when I honestly just lose my patience sometimes. So this is just a standard Smith machine squat. I'm using just a regular wider stance, not overly wide, but it's not a closed stance. These are just one of my all-time favorite exercises. And I think this is beginner friendly, intermediate friendly, or advanced friendly. It just really depends on your weight. But as you feel more comfortable, definitely increase in weight. I no longer barbell squat just because I realized it was a big trigger for my lower back pain. So I feel more comfortable using Smith machine squats, and I actually really do love them. Here I have my belt on, and this is also the front angle so that you can see I am keeping my chest up, but I'm sitting into my glutes, and my knees are pretty stable. They're not wobbling in and out, even though this weight is a bit heavier. Alrighty, next I have a front shot angle of a Smith Machine RDL. I used to do barbell RDLs for so many years, and I realized it's a big trigger for my lower back. This exercise is probably my biggest trigger, so it's the exercise I'm most careful with. And I do enjoy using the Smith machine because it feels much more stable and the bar path is set. Like, I can't accidentally move the bar at the wrong time or this place, and it just triggers my lower back, if that makes sense. So this is what I call a safe exercise for myself. But I will also note that not every Smith machine is super friendly for RDLs. This Smith machine is excellent, and I could get a really great range of motion as if the same of a barbell. But just check out your Smith machine and see how low you can get into it. This is a side angle just so that you can see I am sitting back into my glutes are getting pushed back. But I'm still keeping like a neutral spine, neutral head. You can also see that I'm using my Cobra grips, which are such a staple for RDLs for me, just because I do have a weaker grip strength. And honestly, I'm here just to train hamstrings and glutes. So I'm going to use my Cobra grips. Alrighty, so my third exercise is the hip abductor variation machine. I honestly show you this exercise in just about every workout, but these are my real workouts. I do use it just about every leg day. But I would not be using it this often if I didn't think it was an effective and an important exercise. Sometimes I start off my workouts with this exercise because I do find that it helps like warm up my hips the best before I jump into heavier lifts. But sometimes like I'll do it in the middle of my workout, like you can see here. I do think having strong hip abductors will overall improve your strength. Next exercise is a single leg press. This is another favorite. You could see I have, I think, 3 plates. So this is in the middle of my sets. This is probably like my third set on this machine, and I'll do like 5 sets total. One thing I started to be really mindful of a couple years ago after my lower back injury is the importance of doing single leg exercises, and do not sleep on them, because it is really important to make sure that like both of your legs are as strong as each other. Like, it will never be the same in my mind, but single leg exercises, super important. I do think some people don't love single leg exercises just because they take more time, but I do think it is worth it. So every exercise, think about one single leg movement, and it should be incorporated. On a quad day, there should be a single leg movement. On a glute focused day, single leg movement. On a hamstring day, single leg movement. That's something that I am super mindful of, and sometimes I'll go to do like 1 or 2 or sometimes 3 exercises that are single leg movements. Okay, so for a glute hamstring day, I like to make sure I am doing hip thrusts. Hip thrusts are, in my mind, one of the most important exercises, and I never want to do a hamstring workout and a glute workout without my hip thrusts. They are my babies. They are my musts. Sometimes on my hamstring day, I will use a barbell. Most likely on this day, I was running short on time, so I used the hip thrust machine that my gym has, which I do really like. I do find that it is harder for me to go heavier on this machine just because I have a hard time hooking it and unhooking it with my heavier hip thrusts. But I love the setup. This machine is like really adjustable. Okay, girl, we ran out of time there. Let's just move on to our next exercise. So this is a back extension machine or a hyper extension machine. So sorry. You can see it's right next to the hip thrust machine. So I go from one to the next. I love this machine. I fully adjust it so that the pad is right below my hips. I'm getting the biggest range of motion that I can. My feet are completely locked in. Super, super focused here. I'm pushing off of my heels and getting the squeeze in my glutes. These do really burn my hamstrings. I also got my Cobra grips on. Okay, I believe this is the last exercise. These are seated hamstring curls, my favorite hamstring isolation exercise. I prefer the seated ones than the lying ones. The lying ones sometimes I find can tweak my lower back. I don't know what I'm doing. Also, the lying leg machine at this current gym, you have to load the weights on. I like the pre-racked ones. But yeah, typically you can notice in my workouts, I save my isolation work towards the end. But girl, we are out of time. Have a good workout. Bye-bye.